He stole $47K from me and paid dearly. I found out when I was 17. I was just helping mom with some tax stuff, flipping through statements, and boom. My college savings had only $3,247 left. I was supposed to have over 50 grand in there. I froze. Showed mom. She went pale like she'd seen a ghost. We called the bank. Transaction after transaction, $500 here, $1,000 there, all siphoned out over 2 years. Quiet, careful, below red flag levels. It added up to $47,000, gone. And the kicker? Every withdrawal had a forged signature, one that looked a hell of a lot like mom's. That night, we found Colton outside waxing his lifted truck, the same one he'd been flashing all over Instagram. You know the type, chrome wheels, LED light bars, big, look at me energy. We confronted him. He didn't even flinch, just shrugged and said, I needed transportation for work. Like robbing his little sister was no big deal. Then added, besides, college is a scam. You should be thanking me. Dad nearly blew up right there on the driveway. Colton claimed he'd pay it back when he got promoted. We all knew that wasn't happening. Legally, the account was in mom's name until I turned 18, so I had no case. Apparently, he'd tricked her into co-signing on it just in case of emergencies. I guess a $47K emergency that came with a subwoofer counted. Everything I'd planned, engineering school, dorms, a clean start, it all evaporated. I ended up working double shifts at the hardware store and cramming night classes at the local community college. Meanwhile, Colton kept living like a king. Vacations, steak dinners, a shiny apartment with a pool and gym. He married Ava in a wedding that probably cost more than my college fund. I was wearing thrifted clothes, eating ramen, and studying on my 15-minute breaks. He was posting from Greece, but I swallowed it. For 4 years, I kept my head down, saved every penny, drove a beat-up Honda, lived at home, said nothing. I opened a savings account in a different bank, one he didn't know about, and let my resentment do push-ups. Colton's fantasy life came crashing down when the dealership he worked at got bought out. He lost his job. Ava's part-time gig couldn't keep up with their lifestyle, but instead of downsizing, they doubled down, refinanced the house, maxed out credit cards, took out loans, a financial death spiral. By that point, I had a degree, a job at a construction firm that specialized in foreclosures, and a solid network. I learned how banks dump bad loans, how to buy notes at a discount, and how to navigate auctions. I waited. 8 months later, their house hit the foreclosure list. 4 months behind. Balance, $267,000. I used my savings and a real estate investor buddy to form an LLC and bought the note for $245,000. Just like that, I became their lender. Colton had no clue. 15 days after their next missed payment, I sent the notice. Phoenix Holdings, certified mail. Mom called that night, worried. Colton got a letter saying his loan had been sold. She asked if I knew anything. Banks do that sometimes, I said. It's just business. 3 voicemails from Colton followed, each more frantic. Then came the official default notice, accelerating the full balance. He showed up at my door screaming. I didn't open. He left a letter saying Ava didn't know what he'd done, swearing to pay it all back, plus interest. But how do you calculate interest on a stolen future? When Dad found out, he begged me to back off. He's your brother. I just said, and I was his sister when he stole from me. The foreclosure auction was in November. Courthouse steps. I bid $310,000 and won. Sent the eviction notice 3 days later. Mom sobbed over the phone. Ava was 8 months pregnant. Colton blamed me for stressing her into the hospital. And yeah, I felt guilt. But then I remembered how I'd passed out from exhaustion in a campus bathroom during finals. No one gave a damn then. Uncle Richard flew in. He knew everything. Said my parents had chosen to protect Colton's credit and career. They thought I'd bounce back. Now they wanted me to show mercy. He suggested I offer to sell the house back to them at market. $340,000. If they could get financing, great. If not, the eviction stood. I agreed. My lawyer sent the offer. Colton flipped out. His credit was wrecked. Couldn't get a loan. Called screaming, "You're supposed to help family." I said, "You should have remembered that before you stole from me," and hung up. Eviction moved forward. I paid for movers and 1 month of storage. I didn't show up for the actual move out. Couldn't. That night, Ava went into early labor. I called the hospital. She and the baby were okay. I felt the knot in my chest ease, but I wasn't sorry. A few days later, a card came in the mail. A birth announcement. Sophia Marie Thompson. 4 phallums, 6 Us. On the back, your niece. Click the full story to see what happened next.